up, my collie friends? Welcome to the video. Thank you for clicking on the link. I appreciate it as always, or unmuting it, whatever platform you happen to be watching this one on. I was just out doing some work here on this beautiful sunny day in Long Beach, Washington, and decided to take a break and work on a little bit of collie. I was waiting for my lunch and just thinking on some techniques because I'm weird like that, and decided to cut over here to the elementary school and draw this out and kind of play around with what I was kind of thinking about when I was waiting for my lunch. And I was having some fun with it, and so I figured why not put it online here for my online collie friends to take a look at too, see if it gives you guys any of your own ideas as far as training goes. So this is going to be a calibration exercise. Surprise, surprise. It's some line play drills here. I'm working on a lot of stuff with this. This is a lot of things that I was thinking on, a lot of the different things that I've been learning from John when I go up and train with him. For those of you that don't know, John is Collie Center's Seattle chapter leader, extraordinary martial artist, very, very good with weapons, very good with collie. He's teaching me a lot of the Spanish side of weaponry when I go up with him. He's actually going to be, for those of you that haven't heard, he's going to be coming down here for a seminar on August 17th and 18th. You can come to that, you should. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, so with this form, this line play drill, whatever you want to call this, I was working on a lot of these different principles and tactics that I've been learning up in Seattle, training with John. I'm going to try to break this down as much as I can while we're going through this, without being too winded about it. So anyway, enough of that. Let's just kind of get into it. Let's start with the hands today. Yeah, we'll start with the weapon, like what we're doing with the weapon. So I'm gonna maybe face like this a little so you can see this. So we're gonna start off in guard number 10. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, guard number 10 is when your hand is outside of center line to the outside, so basically in line with your hip, and the upper third of your weapon is on 0 degrees, okay? Hopefully you can hear me all right. It's kind of windy over here. I'm in a little bit of a wind tunnel, so hopefully it's not affecting things too much. But anyway, we're starting in guard 10. So what we do first is we're going to do what's called a conbio or canbio, where you drop the tip. This would be dropping underneath your opponent's weapon, bringing it to the other side of it. And when we do, we're going to chamber this ever so slightly, bringing the hand back, and then press down to our outside, kind of like a downward chop. We would be making contact with their guard and ours, really jamming. This is jamming their weapon down is what that is. So basically what you're doing is you're in guard 10, drop the tip down, bringing it on the other side of their weapon, bring up your hand ever so slightly, and chop down. From there, we're going to do a center line thrust, boom, just like that, up to the number 2 chamber, and a horizontal backhand. That horizontal backhand is going to transition to a reverse angle 2, down to your number 3 chamber, and I'll face another direction here in a second. And then you're going to go 3 up here to guard number 8, and we're going to do a closed backhand thrust, and I'll explain that in a second. So you come out, and your hand turns over, and you come back, ending in guard number 9. What a closed thrust is, for those of you that don't know, the difference between an open thrust and a closed thrust. So if I'm here doing a backhand thrust, an open thrust is like this. The reason it's open is because there is an open line to my hand right now, okay? So that is an open thrust. A closed thrust comes out, but the hand, especially if there is a guard here on my weapon, is going to come to the other side of the body this way, staying behind the guard, staying behind your weapon the whole time, therefore keeping the line to your hand closed. That's what makes it a closed thrust. The difference between an open thrust and a closed thrust. So open backhand thrust, closed backhand thrust. Hopefully you guys can see the difference there. So let's go through this again. Let me face you guys. So guard 10, cambio by dropping the tip, bringing it to the other side of their weapon, chambering ever so slightly, and pressing down. Center line thrust to a backhand horizontal, moving the head so that you can get on this nice angle 2 line here with your reverse angle 2, down to chamber 3, and we're going to do a number 3 slash to a backhand closed thrust. One more time facing this way. Guard 10, cambio, jam their weapon, thrust, backhand horizontal to reverse angle 2 to 3 to backhand closed thrust, ending in guard position 9. All right, let's take a look at the feet and see what we're doing with the feet. All right, so this is going to be our map for the day. All right, now there's a lot there. I'm going to explain this the best I can here in just a minute. All right, so we've got our circle of engagement, right? This is our circle with showing the diamond going through it, and this line right here is what's called the 15-degree line. We're going to be utilizing that with the circle for our bridging on this, utilizing the 90, utilizing the 15, re-quartering. That becomes forward triangle. That's universal forward. That would be reverse triangle, forward triangle. Okay, so let's just go through this. So we've got our quarters here: quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. So what we're going to do first is we're going to step out on 90 degrees, bringing both feet over. Let me show that again. Step out, boom. Both feet are coming over about in line with 15 degree here. Okay, then we're going to take this back foot and we're going to step on the circle in line with the 15-degree line. This gives us this advances us ever so slightly, right? And gives us a slight angle on our opponent. Then we're going to come up the 15-degree line, stepping into quarter 2. You can step all the way just as long as the middle of your foot passes the broken line there. Okay, so you're stepping into them, bridging. Then if they're going out on universal, which would be this way, I'm going to re-quarter up this line here. Boom. Stepping up forward triangle into my opponent. Back foot comes up, and then I'm going to come out on universal evasion. Sorry about the shadow. Re-quartering and just doing a largo step. That's why I've got this dotted here. Largo step, keeping range here. Okay, so let's do that one more time with you guys looking at my feet. So we're stepping out on 90, then on the circle. I'll explain why we do that in just a moment. Then we're going to come up the 15-degree line, just making sure we step into all the way fully into quarter 2, and then we're going to re-quarter up this line here. Okay, this is technically the new left 45. This is the new forward triangle. Both feet come up, coming out on universal evasion. This is the new reverse triangle to the left 45, and then forward triangle with a largo step. Let me have you guys face me real quick. All right, now with you guys looking at me do it. So we're stepping on 90. The reason why I'm stepping 90 before the 15-degree is this is one of the fighting principles John has told me. If you're having a hard time getting to the outside for somebody, start by stepping on the inside 90-degree line, and then immediately transition to the 15-degree on the circle and bridge in. And you usually can catch a solid angle to somebody's outside doing that. That's why I'm starting this way. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're going to step on the 90 and then on the circle on the 15-degree line, Right foot steps into quarter two. I re-quarter with my left, up forward triangle with the right, back on universal evasion, re-quarter, largo step on the new forward triangle. Let's show you with the hands, okay? So let's just put this all together. Hopefully you guys can see me all right with all this. So, starting off in guard number 10, we step out on the 90. My back foot does not touch the ground here. And as I transition to the circle, that 15-degree line, I'm gonna do my cambio, and the calibration is when my foot hits the ground, my blade should be touching the outside of their blade. When my feet come together, I bring this up slightly to chamber, and I press down on their weapon, jamming their weapon into them as I'm moving into my opponent. Re-quartering, I'm going to do a centerline thrust. This centerline thrust needs to travel on 0 degrees. I'm moving up left 45, which means my thrust needs to travel up this line over here, because that's where my opponent would be. Then feet come together, weapon comes to chamber 2. I'm gonna step up the new forward triangle with that backhand horizontal. Feet come together when the weapon comes to the chamber position, and I'm gonna step out on a reverse angle 2, like that, coming up, re-quartering my opponent with an angle 3, and ending in the guard 8 position when my feet come together. How's it going, man? And then stepping up the new forward triangle with a largo step and a closed backhand thrust. You should finish in guard 9 when your feet come together when you have moved back. Just let me touch on something real quick there that I'm doing. The reason why I'm coming backhand to reverse 2 to 3 is because when I'm retreating and re-quartering, something that I've noticed just through playing with this stuff, with going up and flowing with John, with flowing with my own students, and just kind of like really experimenting with all these things, the best line for defense and counters is your 2-3 line right here. The angle 3 takes everything at close quarters. At quarto range, your angle 3 takes your 1, your 2, your 3, and your 4. So this is very powerful in close quarters, makes it a really good re-quartering kind of strike. Your angle 2 is good because this takes, your angle 2 takes your angle 1 on the contradas line. It takes your angle 3 on the contradas line, which those are two of the most, your angle 1 is kind of like your power. It's like the caveman strike. Is the most power, greatest range, greatest speed. So being able to defeat that is really good. Being able to defeat the angle 3, which takes everything, is really good. So this angle 2, and it takes your angle 2, which is probably one of the most commonly used lines because of the transitions between contact and contradas. Hopefully I'm not being too winded on this. Point is that I just want to put that out there. The reason why I'm coming back to this reverse angle 2 to 3 is because I've noticed through my own training that is a very good defensive and countering line to use. That's why I'm using it this way in this drill. Okay, so let's run through this maybe just a couple more times and then I'll demonstrate it. So we're here in guard 10, step on 90, cambio as my foot lands on the circle on the 15-degree line. Come up to chamber, slight chamber when my feet come together, jamming their weapon as I bridge in. Re-quartering as I do a center line thrust, coming up the new forward triangle with a backhand horizontal, comes to the chamber position when the feet come together, coming out on universal with a reverse angle 2, re-quartering with the 3, and then when your feet come together, you should be in guard position. What is this? 8. Guard position 8, and then stepping with a largo step with a closed backhand thrust. Boom, like that. Walk you through it 1, maybe 2 more times. So 90, cambio, jam their weapon, thrust. Boom. Horizontal, reverse 2 on universal, re-quarter with the 3, backhand close thrust with a largo step. 1 more time. 90, cambio, jam the weapon, thrust. Horizontal, reverse 2, 3, close backhand thrust with a largo step. Let me just demonstrate this a few times for you guys, and then I'll let you go. Appreciate you watching all the way to the end. If any of you guys happen to be in the Long Beach, Washington area and you want to come learn some Kali, how to defend yourself with some weapons, I'd love to have you out to my classes. I teach free classes. It's just something I like to do for my community. At the Grange, Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. We're here at the Long Beach Elementary School Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Once again, we are having a seminar out here in Long Beach. Seattle's Kali Center, Seattle chapter leader, John Thompson is coming down. Keep saying it, super good guy. Very good martial artist. If you guys come, you're really gonna enjoy the seminar, I promise. It's 2 days. We're gonna be training all the way from 8:30 in the morning till 4:30 in the evening, both days. So if you are coming, make sure you bring lots of water. Anyway, thanks again for watching all the way to the end. Hopefully this is something that makes sense to you guys and that you can use with your own training, and it gives you some ideas. Anyway, God bless. Deuces.